client of ours for a number of years has been Tonbridge Juddians, who are a rugby club down south. For a number of years, they've had issue getting flood cover since some severe floods a couple of years ago.
Ever since the events of 2013, it's been impossible for us to find flood cover. We've tried on an annual basis every time we come up for renewal.
The problem the club have had for the last few years is that traditional insurance aren't willing to give them any cover for flood risks. If you've got one insurer, refusing flood cover, then 90% of the others will, because of an increased risk.
So we first heard about Tonbridge Juddians Rugby Club when Charlie Jarvis from Club Insure got in touch with us. What we did for them is came up with a solution when they had nothing else in the market.
Straight away, what struck me was how simple the product was, opposed to traditional insurances where there's a ream of policy conditions. This is very simple. What gets to this level, then there's a payment made.
So when we first had the conversation with Charlie about where do we set the trigger depth, we had multiple options, but the fact that the club is raised about 1 metre made it really easy. That was the point at which water gets into the club, and that's where they wanted to insure.
We were able to set the height measure from the lowest point around the clubhouse, which enabled us to actually set it at 1.2 metres. And that in itself then brought down the premiums significantly for the cover.
For clients like this club, FloodFlash is the only option on the table for them. Traditional insurers will very, very, very rarely offer flood cover, but the premiums will be 3-4 times is what they would usually be.
The great thing about this rugby club example is that the rugby club can use the money for whatever they want. It could be for the stock and the equipment, the sports equipment. It could be for fixing the fields, and it could be for just that business interruption because nobody can get into the club.
We no longer need to be accumulating money on an annual basis to self-insure. And moreover, we can release the funds that we've accumulated over the last 6 years to put back into the club, which clearly is very helpful at this time.